Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. We're recording today from the Advisors Mortgage Group studios. We're located right here in Carmel, Indiana. I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in the real estate and mortgages for over 34 years. I've helped over 5,200 folks finance their homes. My team and I believe in custom tailored loans, not the one-size-fits-all approach. We believe there is a right mortgage for you, and we believe we are the team to deliver it.
And I'm Ian Arnold, part of Rick's hardworking mortgage team. I've been in the financial industry for 15 years, helping customers rebuild their credit to get you the better interest rates and also build overall your financial goals in life. I have a passion in helping you secure your future. And even if you want to help pay off your mortgage faster, I'm the guy to talk to.
And as we get started today, we just want to remind you for the most up-to-date information on mortgages or the Indies real estate market, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com or 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. And we are very excited today to have Sherri Bryant with Highgarden Real Estate. Welcome, Sherri. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. Hi, Ian. Hi, Rick.
We really do appreciate it. And you've got a very interesting career. You've done phenomenally well, which is why one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you. And if anybody is out there listening and they go, I want to contact her about real estate or maybe to be on your team, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, they can call me. They can go to my website. They can email me. I'm very personable, so I'd rather have someone give me a call or even send me a text.
And then what number would they want to? I think you gave it to me. I wrote it down here. Hold on.
317-324-8860.
That's
Is
it.
that right?
That's my new number, so I couldn't remember. I was like deer in the headlights.
No, I thought you were playing. Do these guys pay attention to what I told them?
No, I just got this new number, and I was like, I don't remember it.
All right. And then
So just give me a call.
what's your email, though?
It is teambryant01@gmail.com. So that's teambryant01@gmail.com.
And before real estate, what did you do before real estate? Where did you grow up?
Sure.
What was your life
So
like?
I was raised in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Okay.
They call it the stinky town, unfortunately, because of the paper mill plant.
I hear it doesn't stink so much anymore.
No, that's gone. But you know what? I loved it there. It made me who I am today. I had the most amazing mom. She was the kindest, sweetest lady you'd ever meet. One of my children are still in Terre Haute. So I have two children, two stepchildren, two grandchildren, two boys that are so much fun to hang with. And in Terre Haute,
a lot of tubes.
I do, two. Well, yeah. So in Terre Haute, I was in real estate there for probably 3 years. Then had a little bit of a life change and put my license and referral for a couple years. And then I've been in Indy for about 15 years now. So I've always been in some type of sales and some type of a way of helping people, even professionally or personally. It's just something I have a real heart for. So this seemed like the perfect path for me to help people find and sell their homes.
So what made you get into real estate then?
I probably at first was one of those people of, I love to decorate. I love to do this. I love to do that. I can, whatever. But so I talked to someone and they said, you can do this. And I knew that I loved to help people. And I knew if I looked at it in a way that not just selling something, but helping people, it just made sense. I love the flexibility, which people look at you when you say that as a realtor, because you do work a lot. It's not like you just sit around and twiddle your thumbs. That you can work hard, help people. That is so fulfilling, and then make money at the same time. And I love it. I hope I never have to do anything else.
Yeah, real estate is like anything else. There's a misnomer if you watch the TV shows and things like that of what real estate really is. There's a lot of effort.
It's much harder than people think, but it's also very fulfilling. So I always tell those that come on my team or want to talk to me about it, I always say, listen, you're going to have to love it because there will be times that you're going to hate it because, you're a therapist, you're helping people with the most, emotional thing they've ever going to do in their life. And hopefully more than once if you help them. But it's hard, but it's really great and fulfilling. And you just have to have a good support team when you go through the motions and do this job.
So when you got into real estate, how did you get going? What was your process? What kind of things did you do?
Well, so everyone's different. A lot of people think So you have to know what you're doing or you're not going to be a good realtor. But anything that you do that has to do with people, it's all about relationships. So I'm not your typical set down, make phone calls. That's just not me. But you have to be a walking billboard for yourself. You have to let all your clients know, or your friends, family, their family. I mean, you really have to get it out there and talk to everybody everywhere you go. And that's kind of what I did. If I was bringing someone in new, I actually would talk to them to see what type of a personality they have. If that's not comfortable for them, for example, some people are more comfortable on Facebook. That's not me. I don't want to sit around and do that. But there are very successful people on my team through Facebook. Some people like to do the cold calls. That's great, but a couple hours a day, get your calls in, but get out there and just start talking to people and send a letter to everybody you know, and just those kind of things. You just have to be very present and put real estate into your life instead of trying to change your life for real estate. Does that make sense?
Yes, I've noticed that there is not one way to do it.
No, but everybody, you've got to find out the person and how they are. Same with your clients. You have to figure out how they like to communicate, what is important to them, and that type of thing.
Yes. I mean, I've seen agents, like you said, they're very, very successful on Facebook, on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's others that are very, very successful and they don't even have a Facebook page.
Exactly.
So it's not a prerequisite to be successful.
It's not. And
but
you
it
know
is
what?
some
You
way
got
to
to
do
think
it.
about who you are, and hopefully someone will guide you in that direction. Because, Rick, if I'm saying to you, you've got to go out and knock on doors, because I've done that, dropped off donuts. I mean, that's just my personality. And you don't love to do that. It scares the bejeebies out of you. You're not going to do it. So I'm going to find out what it is that each person likes. And the same with your clients. You got to make sure that you're listening to them and you're hearing what they're saying, and not just have one way of doing business with different people. It doesn't work.
So if you're dropping off donuts, what type of donuts are they? Or where are they from?
Oh, I got to give them a plug because they're in Fortville. They're in Fortville, and of course, I cannot remember the name right now.
There's since you're close over there, there's Tim's, which is in McCord's. Is McCordsville.
But the donuts are great, and they've always given me a great deal, and I'll think of their name later. Top of my head, I know. There's 2 files in that head. I got to think about it. I'll remember here in just a minute. But I mean, I stood in freezing degree weather, passing out donuts to people as they leave for the morning. I do crazy things, but that's me, and I think people appreciate that, because when I'm selling or helping you buy a house, I'm going to do those kind of things to get you that home. But that isn't for everybody, and that's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah. I know personally, there's certain things I don't like to do, but what I've always done, it's obviously my personality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do.
That's
and
how I
I
am
just
too. Yes.
and I just do it. And then I find some of those things I actually like to do. I didn't know it.
Exactly. Well, I do stretch people sometimes, my team and my clients. I'll be like, what do you think? Let's think outside the box, because sometimes you have to do things that you don't like.
Yes.
But sometimes you find out that you do like them, like you said, and they're successful. So kind of figure out who you are and just do those things that you feel good about and is successful for you.
Yeah, I think it's very important that when you're starting out, you do what works, whether you like it or not.
Absolutely.
And that's the way I've always done it. And once you get going and I've talked to many agents who they made calls, they didn't like them, right? And then now they work pretty much off referral.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, during COVID, I took, we have at Highgarden, we have Op City leads, and we also have Highgarden leads. And I'm not a person that's ever done leads before, but during COVID, I thought, well, I don't know what's going to happen. So, you follow the money. You're like a vacuum cleaner. It goes around in a circle. You hit the wall, and it doesn't work. You go the other way. That's what I am. That's what you do in the changing markets. And I took some Op City leads. Didn't mean to, but ended up being number one for Op City, and they gave me $5 million in business that year.
Wow.
And then I did my own business as well. But, and then those clients became my clients.
Right.
You can have them. So you just sometimes, you can't quit when things are hard. That's truly what makes you successful, is figure out how to make it work and partner with people who also may be different than you, because then you can work together, and that always helps. So.
Yeah. And what is your team makeup? What does that look like?
Well, I have an amazing team, I'm just going to say. And I want to give a shout out to Highgarden. I love Highgarden so much. They believe like I believe. And when I first went there and they recruited me from my other place that I was, and there was nothing wrong with where I was. It's just they believed a lot like I do. It's teamwork. And no one's saying, no, this is about me, not you. I'm going to help you. They're all about the agents and we're all about the clients. And that's how I think. So, Chris Kuklahan, Steve Robbins, and Brian Hawley, their doors are always open. And that means so much to me and my team. So once I got there, I'm like, okay, is everything going to go like they're not really who they say they are? They really are. So this is not me trying to like twist your arm to do something. But if you're a real estate agent and you're struggling, you should check out Highgarden. So to answer your question, that was a long way to get there. I know,
Yeah,
but
no.
I am a woman. So my team is amazing. I don't like drama whatsoever. We have there's 12 of us here. My husband has his license, but he also has a job that he helps me out with different things. So open houses or he'll do showings, whatever I need him to do when he can. And right now we are a team of women, and we do have another fellow, a guy coming on soon. So he says he's okay with all the females being on the team, but they are very caring. They are kind to each other. They help each other out. There's no jealousy going on. And that probably speaks to who I am, because that's the type of people I want on my team. I don't want someone that's just me, me, me. And they're just smart, amazing moms, and they're rocking it out. And we've been through a lot of things together, but we're like family now. So, finding hardworking people and then the type of people that you want to work with sometimes isn't easy to find. But I got really lucky with the team I had. And do some people come and go? That's just normal. Some people want to go on their own and do their own thing. But our turnover's been great because we are like a family and we do care. And I let everyone brand themselves. I don't make them put their deals under me. I let them brand themselves. I encourage them to brand themselves. They get a good commission split, so that makes them want to stay. And like I said, we're like family. They know I'm going to be there, and I can have a conversation with them about anything because they trust me, because they know it's from my heart. So that makes the team even closer. So I can read when someone's having a hard time, and we just work together, and it's like one entity working together as several people.
And if somebody wanted to work with your team and you, what's the best way they can reach you?
Well, you can call me or text me at 317-324-8862 and give me a call. I would love to talk to you. I think meeting in person would be something I would want to do because, I want the right person for our team, and I want you to see how we can help you grow from, if you did 1 million last year, I can get you to 5 million easily. So.
Yep. And Rick, how would they get a hold of us?
First, and that if you want to buy any real estate or sell any real estate, you can also call
317-324-8862. Yes.
So either way. And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. Did I get it?
You got it.
I did.
I was proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, that's twice.
It's amazing. When you write the number down,
it makes it a lot easier.
It makes it so much easier to remember.
Oh, is it over there? Well, now, I don't know if you can see on the video, but he did slide my new number to me, so I'm like, good memory.
I just thought you had a great memory all of a sudden.
Sometimes I do.
Thanks for listening to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. The gurus we interview share valuable insights. They reveal their strengths, personalities, and how they'll work for you. While we hardworking mortgage guys secure your best mortgage, real estate gurus work hard too. They avoid problems the amateurs don't see. They listen. They find unrealized opportunities. If you're buying or selling a home, a real estate guru is a valuable asset. If you're even thinking of buying or selling a home, keep listening and definitely call one of Indy's real estate gurus.
All right. And before we get into the question of the week, who mentored you? Let's get into that. So I know you work for Highgarden and everything. Did they start with the mentors, or did you have any mentors before?
Well, actually, my mentor was not a real estate person. So I mentioned I put my license in referral for a couple years, and I took a job, just had a life change that I needed to do that. Right. And so I went to work for a corporate cosmetics company, And I met this amazing woman named Sue Sirianni. I will shout her name to the rooftop. Today we're still friends. She and the company that I worked for literally made me the person that I am today. You know, you've got all these things, but you need to round out the edges. You need to learn, you know, how to handle. And they trained the trainer all the time. And she just was a wonderful person who taught me a lot of life lessons, you know, in business and in personal. And so because of her, I think I just learned so much about people and about business. And it was just, you know, it was great. And so then along the way, you know, you meet other people that you look at. You may not always agree with other agents the way they do things, but you can respect them for the type of success they've had. And then you look at the things about them that think, oh, I want to do that. I like that. And then you also form your own from your personality. And I'm a driver, I'm a go-getter, and sometimes I put things together and don't read the directions. So, but I'm going to work hard to make sure I get it done. So a lot of other people, I just watched how they did business and took from them what I liked and put it into my personality and used it as my own as well.
Well, that's the best way to do it.
It is. And you're not going to always be exactly like someone.
No.
And you also can't compare yourself to someone. I tell my team this all the time. You have to compare yourself to you and your goals because it's depressing if you're looking at somebody else. And I've done it before, and I have to bring myself back and be like, okay, listen to your own message, you know. So, but use about them what you do like and put it into play.
Yeah, I have learned that because of my my trainer, my physical trainer. Because I go to a gym that's just nothing but physical trainers training, right? And you see people out there, and you're like, you know, man, she looks like she's 80 years old. And her weight's, you know, she's using twice as much weight as I'm using. You know?
You're like, oh,
yeah. And it's like, no, it's all where you're at.
It is. It truly is. And so many agents quit right before they make it.
Yes.
I try to tell people this all the time. So if you're an agent out there and you're struggling, seriously, give me a call. I will have a conversation with you and help you to understand that it's just one day. Tomorrow might be the one day that it turns around. It's right around the corner. If you're doing all the things, don't quit.
And I think that is a hard thing to do. Keep doing the things that you know work.
Yes.
Over and over and over again when there is no evidence that it's working at that time.
Right.
But if you listen to people, you have mentors
yes.
who can teach you the right steps. Because sometimes I think I don't know if it's our society today or people have always been this way. We don't have any patience. I'm terrible at it.
Well, and that's kind of funny that you bring that up because there are a lot of people that say to me, will you help this agent? Will you mentor this agent? And I do mentor agents even if they're not on my team. And a lot of people are like, why do you do that? Why don't you make money off of them? And I'm like, because it will come back to me.
Right.
And a lot of the times they want to come on the team, but I do have patience for clients and for my team that other people may not. Because you have to listen to people. And, you know, I'm a talker. I love to talk. We all do. Salespeople love to talk. But you also got to be quiet and listen sometimes and get someone that's listening to you. Don't be with someone that's constantly telling you what to do. If they're not asking you questions about who you are, what you like, and that goes for your clients and for the team. So get an agent, team lead, or an agent buying and selling with you that asks you, what do you want? How are you feeling? And I think I do have the patience for that.
Yeah, it's just sometimes, and for me anyway, it's hard. There's like when I'm doing a process, which I know is going to work because it works for everybody else who's ever done the process, but it never seems to work fast enough for me.
That's real estate.
And I have to stick with it, right?
And sales, especially real estate. I just helped clients buy and sell, and I helped them rent an apartment 5 years ago. And I put them on my birthday list where they get a lottery ticket for their birthday. I dropped off things in the summer. I kept contact when they had a baby. I took it. So you've got to keep in touch, and that's the worst mistake for realtors to make. Well, most salespeople, but realtors especially. And 5 years later, 5 years, over $1 million worth of business with them, and they're still wanting to buy something. So don't give up. Just keep doing those things. And it's like I said, the vacuum cleaner. If there's no return on investment after a certain time, then pivot somewhere else and try something else. But you've got to launch whatever you're trying. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people have the failure to launch.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get into the question of the week.
Oh no, not the question of the week.
Oh, you'll enjoy this one.
Dun, dun, dun.
The question of the week is sponsored by Rick and I, the hardworking mortgage guys, where we believe in helping and supporting you and your realtor by sending constant updates on your loan throughout the whole entire process, because everybody likes communication. Nobody likes to be in the blackout. Contact us today at Hardworking Mortgage Guys. All right, Sherri, so here it goes.
Oh boy, what's the question of the week?
What was your first car?
My first car, that's a great question. My first car would be dead more than it was driving. It was round. It was blue. Any guesses?
A Pacer.
No, a Beetle.
Oh, yes.
Oh, see.
My mother was the most hardworking person I ever met. And she has made me the person that I am today. She's passed now. But she worked so hard, saved her money, and bought me this Volkswagen for $500. It was cute and adorable, and I wish I still had it. But the poor thing, it didn't run half the time. It rained, it didn't run. I mean, had a lot of fun, though. But that was my first car.
So when they redesigned them, did you have to go out and get a new one?
No, I didn't. I did mention that I lived in Alaska for about 2 years. My daughter was born there, which was really cool. I was young. I was like 23. Got married, moved to Alaska. My kid's father was in the military, so we sold the car, but never had another one. I did love it, though. Wish I had it today.
See, I didn't guess that because she said it didn't work. And the Volkswagens, the way I remembered them, they actually ran for the most part.
You know, like the motor is in the back, and
Yeah.
then there was vents, and
Yeah.
when it would rain. I mean, my mom paid $500. Come on,
Hey.
but we got them fixed. We get it running. You had to use a screwdriver. I mean, I figured it out. We had some good times. Made it through high school, but after that, I don't think it was going to.
It's a kid's first car. You're
It
never
was
going to.
cool.
Now, I will say this. I was shocked when I sold new cars for Toyota and stuff. So, my kid just turned 16
Oh yeah,
and bought him a
yeah.
brand new 4Runner. I'm like,
No.
can I have you as parents?
Yeah.
Because my parents are like you. $500, here you go. Hopefully, if
My
not,
kids-
you're Fred Flintstone in it.
Exactly. My kids drove my mom's Pontiac that the ceiling was falling. She couldn't drive anymore, and it was so old. And it was her. She loved that car, but the roof was falling in. The air conditioning didn't work. My kids did not complain. They drove that car. They were happy to drive it. And then eventually we got new cars.
There's
not new,
something about your first car.
It is. It's
There
like
just
your
is.
first love. You just.
Yeah.
It's. I'll never forget it. I can see it in my mind. Can't remember most stuff, but I can see that blue bug.
That's how, I mean, it's that way for most people. We had one, it was a bug that this one, to get the heater to work, she had to roll the window down.
Okay, had to be cold enough in there to work.
How in the world does that work?
I
But
don't know.
that's what she said.
I have to know what your first car is. Can't go on with letting me know what was your first cars.
Mine was a Jeep Cherokee, I think 94.
You were lucky.
You're complaining over there?
I never complained.
Yeah, mine. Well, the first car I got, like my parents' car that I got to drive,
Yes.
was a yellow '73 AMC Gremlin.
A Gremlin.
Uh-huh.
Those are pretty cool cars.
No, they were terrible.
Now they're pretty cool. They're not around, but I mean.
I love cars. If you can't tell, I love
tell.
cars. So, and I go to a lot of car auctions, and I have been surprised that.
How many Gremlins you've seen?
Yeah, but they're normally in the parking lot. Nobody actually wants to buy one.
Well, they're unique, though. I never was into cars until now. I don't know what's happened. I'm kind of into cars now.
You've been cultured.
I don't know what happened. It's like
Yeah.
wine, I guess. I'm being
So, what
smart
kind of
to-
car do you have now?
I have I have an Audi A5.
Oh, that
I don't
might
ever
be
buy a
why.
new car though. No new cars. We buy used, and then we have a 2002 very blue Porsche convertible that we purchased old, and it needed a lot of stuff done after we got it. But it's really cool, and we can't sell it now because it's like part of our soul. So
Yeah.
that's our fun car.
Now, is it a Porsche with an air-cooled rear engine, like the Volkswagen? No?
Well,
What model
the
is it?
problem is the air conditioning still doesn't work. We don't know why. The car will stall if you put the air conditioning on. So if it's really hot out, you won't see me driving it.
Yeah, I
It gets
understand
really
that.
hot in there, all
Yeah.
over the roof down.
Well, I think it's broken, but Ian probably knows what's wrong with it.
Probably.
Yeah, it's pulling too
Force
much
of
power.
nature. You.
It's pulling too much power. So you have a circuit. You have either the battery or one
We
of
have a
the.
new battery in it. We had to put up the brakes. I mean, the guy really
went
sold
through
us
it.
kind of a lemon, but now we put so much money into it and we love it. But cars are fun.
It's like kids. Once you put too much money into them, you just got to keep them
back.
around.
You got to keep the kids. It's like, hey.
I don't know. There's times my youngest is turning 30, but there's times I don't know. One of the three could have, we could have just moved them off.
I understand, but I can't say which one of the kids that was because they might listen to this.
Yeah.
No, my kids are great.
It changes.
They give you trouble at different times, but
that kid knows who they are.
They know. No, they're awesome. There's a 7-year-old grandson that can wrap you around your finger and step on your foot all at the same time. So my daughter's knowing, how it feels.
Yeah, well, see that makes you feel good. That's payback for them.
Yeah, payback for kids.
Yeah, they kind of learn, all the things they did to us as parents. Of course, we never did that to our parents.
I spoil them and then send them home. That's what you do.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's
give
awesome.
them sugar and send them on their way.
But Sherri, how would somebody get a hold of you if they want to either buy or sell their home, or if they are looking to have a mentor like you?
So you can call me at 317-324-8862, or you can email me at teambryant01@gmail. I'm a very in-person person. Now, if you're still worried about anything, we can do Zoom, but I just want to get to know you and really see if we connect. So give me a call. And if you're struggling out there, don't give up. Just give me a call. If it's a client or if it's someone wanting to keep on with the real estate.
And to contact Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com or 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938.
That's a great job, Rick.
Way to go, Rick.
I've got it down. I've got it
Ian's
written
here to take
here.
care of me.
There. Yeah, Ian writes yours down for you.
You are a force of nature.
Yes.
Yeah. When I couldn't remember the number, you know what he did? He laughed at me. With you, he's very nice slides it like
he'll make fun of me after I leave.
Oh, okay. But you don't have to listen to it. I do.
Exactly.
Well, there's a difference. I've worked with you for 3-4 years now. I've worked with her for not as long. So guess what? You're going to get it.
But I might pick on you a little bit. So
hey, that's all right.
Well,
that's what
appreciate it.
I joke. We were talking about joking with kids. I joke with and pick on my kids all the time. And my wife's like, "You got to stop doing that." I go, "No," because as soon as they come home and say some kid's picking on them, I'm gonna look at them and go, "Who picks on you more, me or that kid?" And they're gonna go, "You." I'm like, "All right then, ignore them. Let's go on with life."
That's great. That's right. Life is full of meanies.
Yep. So let's get into. You went into how your mentoring and all that stuff and your team and everything. So let's get into something a little bit more fun. What do you do when you're not selling real estate?
Well, oh my gosh. I think part of my life is always, real estate is always in it. So even when I'm having fun, real estate does come around, but just had my grandsons. They were here for the weekend and we went around and they love to do stuff like this. So I have them come. We went around and did 10 of my clients and we put Easter egg hunts in their yard. Dropped off bottles of wine for the mom and dads. So I really love to do that because that's what I do even when I'm not working. Like we have several neighbors that are either widowed or single, and we will cook food and we'll take them meals. And my husband and I both really are caretakers, so we do a lot of things for people. We like to go to Florida. I didn't even mention this yet. We have a team in Florida as well. So if anyone's looking to move to Florida, we can help you out. The Fort Myers area. 4 hours either way. We can help you out there as well.
So that's why you remember my name very well.
Yeah. We didn't have any damage, but that's why I remembered your name.
If anybody does not know, Hurricane Ian is what hit Fort Myers last year.
Yes, and that's super sad. It really was hard, but I'm teasing Ian because that's how I remember his name. But so we like to go to the casino. We're very much into games like card games, board games. We're like outdoor stuff, bike riding. We like boating. We just like to do a lot of things. We don't rest very often. Maybe, but grandkids mostly.
Well, real estate is all consuming anyway, because what happens is, and I can tell you're this way, you love it.
I do love it.
So working isn't working.
It's not working. And when I tell people I love it, they don't know me, but I think just the short time you've seen me here, I really do love it. It doesn't work to me at all. Now there are things about it that I want to bang my head against the wall. But I've learned to delegate, And sometimes, my son always tells me he just got his PhD, and he's, of course, Mr. Brains, but he's always telling me, don't procrastinate the things that you don't want to do. Just do them first, and then so I try to remember that. He always tells me, because that's his motto, and I probably told it to him at some time in his life, but I do procrastinate on the things I don't like to do, but you just got to get out there and do them.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, unfortunately.
Easiest just to do them right away. That's what I do too. It's kind of like I don't go down the ladder into a cold pool. I jump in. Just got to get it over with.
Right.
But we have a guy that works for the company. We have offices in Florida, and he moved to Florida, and they bought a house, and they closed on it, and 2 days later, the tornado or the hurricane hit. Now he just lost his roof and things like that, but it was like totally bad timing.
It is. I mean, I've had clients that we helped build their house, and then within a week, it was a friend of mine and her 80-year-old mom, and in a week they had the worst damage in the neighborhood in their brand new house. So it's been a little bit crazy, but the good news is she's an interior designer, so she redesigned the whole kitchen when she got her insurance, came through. So it was tough, and there's still a lot of people struggling, so it's super sad. But if you're looking, there's some great deals to be had. If you want a family home or rental or Airbnb, give me a shout at 317-324-8862.
Look at her just plug herself in there. I liked it.
He likes it. Yeah, my son just got back from Florida. They went down there with his wife's whole family, and they said Fort Myers is still just basically gone.
So we're about 15 minutes from Fort Myers. We actually have a home that we purchased a year ago, and we do let clients go there and stay if they want to for a couple days, look for a house with our team. But it's really sad. I mean, I think we didn't have a lot of damage, just some trees, but people forget, because we're here. We did have that tornado in Sullivan that took the whole town down, which is by Terre Haute, so I know it well. But yeah, it's sad. But the other side of that, if you are an investor or someone that's looking to purchase, there are some homes to get some deals on, even on the water. And it was just hadn't happened in 500 years, but we just can't forget those people that they're still struggling, and businesses, they're gone. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a while. I grew up in Florida, so
Oh, you did?
yeah,
What part of Florida?
Near Pensacola.
Okay.
But I went through a hurricane, and one of them, we were sitting on the front porch because depends on what part of the storm or where you get hit. It's okay.
Yeah.
But we were sitting there and it's a big thunderstorm or whatnot. We see a gator go down the street, and we're like, all right, we're all going back inside now.
Okay, that happens a lot, but I think most of the beaches are open.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Myers, though, it was badly damaged, so it's going to be a while.
And they said Sanibel was really bad too. Sanibel was totally wiped out.
Yeah, it was.
But getting back to real estate, what would you say your superpower or superpowers are?
Oh boy. Actually, that's easy for me. I pride myself on how much I care for people, and then really relationship building from the time I was a little child. My mom was a super awesome person, and she just taught me if you care about people, but I think it's just who I am, and people come to trust me, and they can see I really care. So building relationships, because you've got to know what you're doing, and I really work hard to stay up on what's happening, and I don't always know the answer, but I have people I can get the answer from. But if you make it about the people, the profit does come, and I really feel that way. It's not just something I'm saying. I really, truly believe it, and if you have been my client before, or if you're one of my people on my team, I know they would say that as well. Yeah. So building relationships, 100%.
Well, we couldn't agree more. We think that's, I've learned in my life that you just help, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't worry about where, yourself, you worry about everybody else, and you give. And you still know it all comes back somehow, some way.
It does, because if you treat people well, guess what? They're going to treat you well.
Right.
They are. And it's just, I wish we could all be that way. And you can't let people walk all over you, but I wish more people would care about people more, and just, even in real estate, I've seen realtors, I see it out there, and we see that too. And we're just like, oh, but you can't change how they behave. You just got to do how your actions are and be kind to people.
So what would you think your most memorable deal is?
is a good question. That one I have to think about. There's been so many. I think there's memorable on good side and bad side. So I'll give you one of each. People that I knew very well, and they're not going to know who this is. I would never say names, but they just changed so much. I couldn't even believe how they were treating me and other people. And so you just are like, it's very surprising sometimes when you work with people that and things go really ugly. So I think those are the hard times. But the good times, I can think of several. This last deal that I did was a single mom. Well, her kids are in their 20s, maybe late 20s. We've been working together for, probably 4 years at least. And she had a small little house to sell that was her mom's, and she really needed to get out from underneath of it. And it was hard to sell just because of the house being so old, and there were some things. And she really wanted to move closer to her sons, and the sweetest, kindest lady I've ever. Just so sweet. So I really, really wanted to help her, and we talked for 4 years. It took 4 years to get this done. We ended up. A guy came along, loved the house, needed to get in a house, didn't want any repairs done, which is crazy. And we got our little house sold, and then she was able to buy a newer home, by her sons. And she cried sad tears, happy tears throughout the whole process. But I'm just super happy about that for her. And I do really get emotionally involved with the clients when it comes to their happiness. And when they're angry, you got that too. But that was probably my best one that I could remember, because she just was so happy and wanted it so bad. And we had to do so many things to make it happen, from loans to everything else, but it did. And now she's just so happy. So that's probably my most favorite.
That's awesome. So how do you normally get through? I know you've been in the business for a while. Mm-hmm. Let's say a roadblock comes up. How do you get through it?
Well, we're project managers basically. So, I did mention, you asked me about coaching, and I still do coach with one of the managers. His name's Steve Robbins. I'm sure you probably heard of him. And I feel like I know him well enough now that sometimes I go in there, and that's where I might be like having a little temper tantrum and getting all out, because I try to stay, as positive as I can for the team. But they also know when I'm having some struggles. So they're there for me as well. But I'll go in there and I'll kind of just spew it out and say all my stuff. And then I'll be like, "Are you done?" And I'll be like, "I'm done. Thanks." And then you just manage it out. You figure out how to make it work. And I always bring up this silly little vacuum, but I think about the vacuum that keeps running into roadblocks. You just go a different direction. And believe me, in real estate, you have to do that all the time. Right now, like we don't know what's happening sometimes. We can't get the pendulum to be in the middle. It's from one way to the other. So you have a moment, you have your pity party, you get your big girl panties on, and you go out there and you figure out what you can do to make it happen. And that's what you do.
It is amazing to me how helpful it is to have somebody to.
Everybody needs somebody.
Yes, and our customers and clients need that too.
They do.
They can call you, let them vent. When it's all over, they usually thank you for just shutting up and letting them vent.
At the moment, you just need to let people go.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed to do. I needed to say a couple cuss words. Yes, I do cuss once in a while. Go in there and throw a fit, say what I need to say, and then I feel better.
Yes.
But you have to figure out a way to fix it and just let people listen, because they don't look to you to take care of the problem. And if you're just angry and upset all the time, what are you getting done? Nothing. You're wasting your energy.
Right.
So
the
have it out, have a drink, do whatever you do to make yourself feel better, and then reach out to another person. Talk it out.
Yeah. Well, when you're emotional, at least, and for me, your decision making is not the same.
It's
so
not.
You need to.
And I'm not saying just push it under the rug, because we have to vent. I guess we talk. We all need somebody to vent to, and maybe that person is the person that's going to help you talk it out and solve it. But write it down, pros and cons. Start thinking outside the box. Who can help me with this? What can we change? I've cut grass in high heels before and borrowed neighbors' water hoses.
That's how Ian does it.
I'm sure he does.
Hey,
I'm going to drive by your house and check it out.
It makes people stop. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, the buyer's agent called me and said, this is 10 years ago, the buyer's agent got upset all the time. So the client did.
Yep.
So I'm like, no, the grass is, it's summer. The grass is dying. It's okay. And she even told me at closing, because there was several things that she was wanting to put closing off. I said, just thank you for doing the things that you have done to keep us from not closing. Because I don't know, she just would get upset with her client and first, and then he would get upset, and it was tough. But that's one of my most memorable things too, is cutting the grass in my high heels.
Well, I think it's one of the most important pieces of for a real estate agent is to be able to keep calm.
And when you're with your client.
Yes, you have to with your client. You have to.
They are going to follow you just like it's like a child's reaction. I don't mean they're children, but they're putting everything into you. And if they're getting all upset, you got to stay calm too.
Exactly.
And let them vent it out, and then say, "I have a solution." And they'll be like, okay, because people have cussed and yelled and screamed and, it happens, but you have to stay calm when you're with them. And then go to your person and shake it off. But
it's not really about you. They're not really upset about you.
That's the other thing. You cannot take things personally. Yeah. You can't, because this is the most emotional, most dollar amount either coming in or going out that they're going to spend or receive. And it's
stress.
They're stressed. So.
And every realtor is a therapist. That's all I know.
We are. And you have some that are just like so easy going. You're like, do you have a pulse? Which is great. I'm thinking, I'm scared they're not upset right now. No, it's great when you have those clients. But you know what? It's just stay calm.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but because of all the things that can happen in a mortgage, when I'm out, I don't really let much bother me when I'm at a store or anything else. It's because I've seen it. And I don't, yelling and screaming and hollering doesn't really do any good. So you might as well let's work it out. Communication is everything.
To work on that, in my 20s, because, when you're 20 or when you're a kid, it's all right. Your parents are there to help you through it. But I've just learned that I think for me, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Life is so short, the hurricane, tornadoes, COVID, people passing. I mean, come on, it's not going to change anything. It's like a rocking chair. You can get in a rocking chair and rock, but you're not going to go anywhere. Angry, mad, upset, being mean to people. I get it, but find an outlet. Go for a run, go for a bike ride, whatever. It's just not going to change anything. And the best thing you can do is just figure out how we can make it happen. In any deal, and real estates go sideways all the time. So I agree 100%.
I guess go yell at your mentor or your supervisor.
I do.
That's a good one.
Or
all right, we got to pause this. Hold on, Rick.
We'll be right back. Well, I like to go to the movies and watch the most craziest movie you could ever imagine. Like, I don't answer my phone, I'm addicted to my phone like most people are. If I'm really, really stressed out, I go to the movies and I watch any movie that has nothing to do with my life, Or sometimes I'll be driving down the road when I'm like really in a bad way, and I'll see somebody. It's like a reminder, like someone that's in a wheelchair doesn't have legs, or whatever. It's like, wait a minute, this is a little, first world
out of proportion.
Problem. It's all fine.
Yeah. And I know there's not this is an average day, but what does a day in the life of a real estate agent look like? Basically, like what are the processes? What are the things that you do during the day?
Well, I'm smiling because as a real estate agent, you wake up and you look at your calendar and you're like, oh, I've got a good day planned. Well, guess what? Your day doesn't usually go like it was going to. But if it's because a client called you and wanted to see this house that's going to sell, quickly, you figure it out. So again, everyone's day looks different. But if you're talking about me, I do like to have things on the calendar because if they're not on the calendar, they're not going to happen. So I get up the night before, actually look at my calendar, see what I need to do, see what time, I got to get this and that. And then I typically, from my bed, I know it's crazy, but I get more stuff done working on my phone from my bed than most people get done in a day. So I'm looking at emails, I'm seeing any flyers I need to put out, assessing what's happening, and then I go to my first appointment, whether it be with a team or a client or staging a home for photos. And then you need to have at least an hour a day. Like a lot of people say 2, but if you're like me, an hour is all I can do. An hour a day with marketing, social media, on your phone. So I put that in there. Now it's not always first thing in the morning because I'm just not your average person. My morning can vary. My night can vary too. So I just follow my day along, and then if I have to put fires out, you got to make changes. You just do that, and that's probably happens more often than not. So just put it on your calendar, and then be able to take a step back and figure out, can someone else help me? And you have others to help you get those things done. So that's kind of it. But it's busy. I like to be busy, and if you're not doing things if you have a store, let's say this: if you have a store, you have to go to the store and open it, right?
Right.
If you don't, nobody's going to come.
Right.
It's the same with real estate or any other business. When you own your own business, you've got to open your business. If you're not taking people's calls, guess what? It's irritating you because you have something you're doing. They're going to call somebody else. They will. So open your store and make sure you're there and figure out how to make your day happen when you can.
Yeah. So when you're looking towards the future, I know you've talked about your team growing and stuff like that. What are you looking either personally or even indie market the next 6 months to maybe a couple years?
Well, every year is different. I think we get all these people projecting things. My first advice is not to listen to all that. You have to in some way, like it increases and this and that. But until it happens, continue on with what you're doing and then figure out how to make it happen. So I do think the market ebbs and flows. We still have no inventory, so we still need listings, and people are starting to buy again. They're getting used to the shock of what interest rates were, but they were so low. I don't think we're ever going to get there again. It's not going to happen. So if you want to buy a house, you just have to figure out a way to get the best lender, best mortgage person like you guys to help them find the right. So I think the market's going to continue in the Indianapolis area. We always hold firm even when other places don't. I don't think we're ever going to crash again because that was mortgage fraud. There was a lot going on. We put a lot of things in place. I don't think that's going to happen. Personally, I would like to grow my team with amazing people with like minds, and I would like to help more people find places in Florida as well, and maybe grow a couple people there. Not growing that fast because I don't live there. I only go a little bit at a time, and I have someone that manages it there, so I'm here with my clients. But just grow the team and grow my clients, and I think Indianapolis is just going to hold strong like it always does, and we're going to be fine. But we need listings. We have buyers. We just need listings. We really do. So if you think that your house you might want to move, don't wait. Let us help you.
Right.
And tell you at least what the options are, because there are buyers out there. There are a lot of buyers still.
And I believe, I'll ask you a question. Are you better off with a 7% rate or paying $70,000 more for the house? That's what people were doing. They were paying tremendous amount more for the house over list. 2
years ago, of course we were making money hand over fist, but it wasn't fun. Who doesn't like to make money? But our clients were just giving everything away. They were not protecting themselves. And so I had to have a lot of conversations about, you've got to have an inspection. I don't care if you don't get the house. We'll find you a house. You have to have an inspection. So, you know what? I just slowly lost your question.
Had to have an inspection.
Yes. What did you ask me, though?
But, so you were getting the whole thing about the whole, all right, would you rather spend 7% or $70,000 extra?
I just totally lost it. So, you don't want to pay more for a house because you're not going to be able to sell it. There are ways I am not a lender. I don't pretend like I am, but I know enough to tell my clients, hey, got a great lender. Let them advise you. And so, you can find ways to get a better interest rate. There are all types of new builds. They're offering better interest rates. And they're leveling out. So we're just going to have to get used to it, because if you sell high, you're going to buy high. And wouldn't you rather sell your home at a halfway decent price, make some money on it, and then buy a home at the same value, right, so you can resell someday, because you never know. Right. So definitely go with the best interest rate you can get and not pay more for a house that you're not going to get.
Yeah. And the other thing is, even if it's a little bit better or a little higher rate, guess what? Just refinance when it lowers.
Exactly.
Like,
you can refinance later.
Like you said, there's an ebb and a flow.
The hardest part is it's shocking even for me, and I'm sure you guys too, is that little bit of an interest rate does make
a difference.
The payment go up. But there's just so many different types of loans, as you know, and we can always figure out a way to make it work and then refinance. And how long does it take? Is it 6 months?
6 months.
That's what I thought. So
yeah.
6 months down the road, if it changes, then you can refinance.
But yeah, for me, it's still, I mean, yeah, the interest rate's up, right? But houses were selling at well over list price. And as that changes, it's so weird how people see an interest rate and that doesn't work, but they'll go and make an offer.
And they have to bring cash to the table, basically. Most of the time, a lot of times they do because it may not appraise.
Yeah. So I just think it's
agree.
weird.
And you know, the appraisals were up, but you're not going to get that money back in the next few years.
Right. Yeah. So if somebody need to get a hold of you, if they want to sell their home, especially need listings, buy a home, or go on your team, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way really is to call or text 317-324-8862, or you can email me at teambryant01@gmail.com.
And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938.
And reminder, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refinance, contact Rick or I. We'll be more than happy to help them.
And please follow us.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 664589. Ian Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.